Hi everyone! Welcome back to Bookcast. I'm Jenny, and I'm here again with my wonderful co-host Alex.
Hey folks, if you're new here, Jenny and I are diving deep into The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, chapter by chapter. Jenny's the one reading the book this time, and I get to ask all the questions as we unpack the ideas together.
Yep, and today's chapter is called The Seduction of Pessimism. But before we jump into it, quick reminder, if you missed episode 16, You and Me, go check it out. It was all about how different backgrounds and life experiences shape how we view money. It was a great one.
Absolutely. That one really made me think. But this one, The Seduction of Pessimism, that title alone already has my curiosity. Let's get into it.
So, Morgan Housel argues that pessimism sounds smarter, more serious, and more realistic than optimism, even when it's often wrong. There's something inherently seductive about bad news. It feels urgent.
That totally checks out. If someone says the market is going to crash, people perk up. But if someone says things will keep going fine, it sounds almost naive.
Exactly. Housel mentions that pessimism grabs attention. It feels more intellectually satisfying because we're wired to notice threats more than stability.
Is this just an evolutionary thing? Like the fight or flight instinct?
Yes, that's part of it. Bad news signals danger. So historically, paying attention to it helped us survive. But in the world of money and investing, it backfires. It makes us overreact to downturns and underappreciate long-term growth.
So we're more likely to believe a gloomy forecast, even if it has no better track record.
Yep, he even says pessimists sound like they know something you don't. They create that aura of insight, like they're letting you in on a secret. And optimism, even when backed by data, sounds like wishful thinking.
Is there an example Housel gives to show this contrast?
He brings up how economic growth, technological progress, and general improvement in human well-being are mostly optimistic stories. But they happen slowly, and you don't see them on the news every day. What you do see? Layoffs, crashes, crises. So the media feeds that pessimism bias.
That reminds me, no one reports millions of people lived fine today, but if a market drops 1%, it's front-page news.
Exactly. He compares it to a plane crash. It's a tragedy and grabs headlines, but meanwhile, tens of thousands of flights land safely every single day. That's the reality of most systems. Slow, steady improvement, but it doesn't make for dramatic headlines.
So what's the takeaway here for someone managing their own money?
Be careful not to get sucked into pessimism just because it sounds smart. The stock market, for example, has had countless crashes and corrections, but over decades, it has steadily grown. People who stayed optimistic, even when it wasn't trendy, often did better in the long run.
So being an optimist isn't about being blind to risk. It's about seeing past the noise?
Right. Housel isn't saying ignore risks. He's saying acknowledge them, but don't let them dominate your outlook. He calls it rational optimism.
That's powerful. You can be realistic and still expect things to improve overall.
Exactly. And one other point. He says pessimism tends to be sold as wisdom in investing, but in hindsight, it often misses the big picture.
So pessimism sells, but long-term optimism builds wealth.
Perfectly said, Alex.
This episode really changed how I think about financial news and market panic. It's like we need a filter to separate noise from signal.
That's such a good way to put it. Filter the noise, stay rational, and don't let emotional headlines dictate your money decisions.
Okay, listeners, what did you take from today's episode? Let us know in the comments. And remember, bad news might feel urgent, but progress is often quiet.
Beautifully said. And don't forget, if you haven't yet, go back and listen to episode 16, You and Me. It's a great companion to today's topic.
And stay tuned for the next one, episode 18, When You'll Believe Anything. If it's already out, jump right in, or save it for later. Either way, we'll see you there.
Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and share if you're enjoying Bookcast. Bye for now.
See ya, everyone.